Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Imagine this. You're offered two brand new luxury cars. No payments, no conditions. Just walk into a dealership and drive away. Now, what if I told you the Prophet said there's something easier to get that's actually more valuable? Discover how the Sahaba reacted when given this choice. So stay with me until the end. Hadrat Uqba ibn Amir, radiyallahu anhu, said that Rasulullah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, came to us while we were on the Sufa. He asked us, who would like to go to Budhan or Akik every morning and come back with two she-camels with fat humps, without sinning and without being unkind to relatives? We said, we would all like that, O Rasulullah. He said, then why don't you go to the masjid in the morning and learn or teach two ayah from Allah Ta'ala's book? To learn or teach two ayah is better than two she-camels. 3 is better than 3, and 4 is better than 4, and that many camels. Note, Sufa is the name of a particular raised platform in the mosque of the Holy Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in Medina. It used to be occupied by the poor Muslim muhajirin, plural of muhajir emigrant from Mecca to Medina, who are known as ashab us-Sufa, men of Sufa. The number of these men varied from time to time. Allama Suyuti, rahmatullah alayh, has listed 101 names and also written an independent booklet about their names. Buthan and Akik were the two marketplaces for camels near Medina. The camel, more particularly a she-camel having a fat hump, was a favorite of the Arabs. The expression without sin is significant. A thing can be acquired without labor either by extortion, through illegal inheritance, by forcefully taking over the property of some relative, or by theft. Rasulullah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, thus ruled out all such acquisitions. Acquiring a thing without labor and without any sin is certainly preferred by all, but much more valuable is the learning of a few ayat. It is a clear fact that let alone 1 or 2 camels, even if one acquires the kingdom of all the 7 continents, one will be forced to leave it, if not today, surely tomorrow, at the time of death. But the reward of 1 ayat will be everlasting. We see even in this life that a man feels happier when he is given only 1 single rupee without the condition of returning it, rather than if he is given 1,000 rupees for keeping in his safe custody for a while only. In the latter case, he is merely burdened with a trust without getting any benefit out of it. In fact, this hadith implies an admonition not to compare something temporary with something eternal. Whether in action or at rest, a man should consider if his efforts are being wasted on acquiring the temporary gains of this world, or are directed towards achieving the everlasting ones. Woe be to the waste of effort for which we earn eternal misery. The last phrase of the hadith, superior to an equal number of camels, contains 3 meanings. First, up to the number 4, the reward has been mentioned in detail. Beyond this, it is briefly mentioned that the more ayat a person acquires, the greater will be their superiority over the number of camels. In this case, the word camels at the end refers to the species, either he-camels or she-camels, and the number implied is more than 4 because up to the number 4. The reward has been mentioned in detail. The second meaning is that the numbers mentioned are the same as referred to earlier, the significance being that inclinations are always different. Some are fond of she-camels, others prefer a he-camel. Therefore, Rasulullah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, has used this expression to signify that every ayat is superior to a she-camel, and if one prefers a he-camel, an ayat is also superior to a he-camel. The third meaning is that the numbers mentioned are the same as referred to before, and not more than 4. According to the second meaning, the explanation that an ayat is superior to a she-camel or he-camel does not hold good, but it implies a collection. That is, 1 ayat is superior to a he-camel and a she-camel considered together, and likewise, every ayat is superior to the combination of an equal number of he-camels or she-camels. Thus, a single ayat has been compared to a pair or couple of camels. My author, late father, may Allah bless his grave with divine light, has preferred the latter interpretation because it points to a superior virtue. This, however, does not mean that the reward of an ayat can be equaled to a camel or 2 camels. All this is for inducement arid illustration. It has been clearly written before that an ayat whose reward is permanent and enduring is superior and preferable even to a kingdom over the 7 continents, which is bound to disintegrate. Mullah Ali Qari has written an account of a pious sheikh who went to Mecca for Hajj. When he landed at Jeddah, some of his friends in business requested him to prolong his stay in Jeddah so that they could earn more profit for their merchandise by virtue of his blessed presence. In fact, they wanted that some of the servants of the sheikh be benefited by the profits of their business. At first, the sheikh expressed his inability to prolong his stay, but when they insisted, the sheikh asked them as to the maximum profit that they would earn for their goods. They explained that the profit was not the same in all cases, but the maximum that they could expect was 100%. The sheikh said, "You have taken all this trouble for such a petty gain, for such an insignificant gain. I cannot miss the salat in the respected haram, the most sacred mosque, where the reward of salat gets multiplied 100,000 times. In fact, we Muslims should consider how, for petty worldly gains, we sometimes sacrifice great spiritual benefits." May Allah enable us to understand the words of the Hadith, act upon them, and convey them to others. Ameen. Stay tuned, as I will return with another Hadith soon. Don't forget to watch before you sleep. Jazak Allahu khairan.